Welcome to the He's Got Issues Marvel Comics Edition number 141.1. I'm John Cooney here to preview new Marvel Comics being released October 1st, 2014, beginning alphabetically with Black Widow number 11. In the wake of Wolverine's death, with Isaac's life on the line, Black Widow takes X-23 punching. Next, we've got Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier number 1. Following the tragedy of Original Sin, what becomes of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier? Find out in this new ongoing series. We've also got Captain America number 25, extra-sized issue, Who is the all-new Captain America? The conclusion to the story that began in Dimension Z as Zola strikes in unison with the Red Skull, the final fate of Jet Black. Next we have Dark Tower, the drawing of the Prisoner number 3 of 5. Stephen King's dark fantasy epic returns to the mean streets of New York City. Eddie Dean, the troubled young man gifted with the ability to open doors to other worlds, has survived to his 10th birthday, but will he live to see another? What horrors lurk within the Dutch Hill mansion? A bold new chapter continues by writers Peter David of All New X-Factor and Robin Firth of The Dark Tower, The Complete Concordance, and artist Piotr Kowalski of Marvel Knights Hulk. We've also got Death of Wolverine number 3 of 4. The beginning of the end is now here. The death of Wolverine. 3 months to die, the loss of Wolverine's healing factor, all led to this, the single most important X-Men event of the decade. Logan has spent over a century being the best there is at what he does, but even the best fade away eventually. Over the years, Logan has been a warrior, a hero, a renegade, a samurai, a teacher, and so much more. But now the greatest X-Men hero will play a role he's never played before in this special weekly event brought to you by industry superstars Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. Next, we have Edge of Spider-Verse number 4 of 5. A radioactive spider bites a high school nerd who is already something of a monster. Novelist Clay McLeod Chapman of The Tribe takes you to a universe where the story you know becomes as horrific as possible. We've also got Fantastic Four Annual number 1, Attack on Castle Doom. Sue Richards goes to Latveria to confront Dr. Doom for the safety and welfare of her daughter Valeria. See the majesty of Dr. Doom's sovereign country blown apart as he and the Invisible Woman turn Latveria into a battlefield in one of the most savage battles in FF history. And when it's over and the smoke is cleared, whose side will Valeria be on? Next we have Figment number 5 of 5, revealing the origin of 2 of Disney's most imaginative characters. This is it, the action-packed conclusion to the all-new steampunk fantasy story exploring the never-before-revealed first adventure of the inventor known as Dreamfinder and his famous dragon Figment. The streets of London are ablaze and overrun by the Singular and his Clockwork Control army. The only thing standing between them in total domination, Dreamfinder, Figment, and their newfound friends. Acclaimed creator Jim Zub of Skull Kickers and Felipe Andrade of Captain Marvel give a Marvel spin to the mind-expanding attraction Journey into Imagination. We've also got Guardians 3000 number 1. Dive right into the action as the original Guardians of the Galaxy, Vance Astro, Yondu, Martinex, Starhawk, and Charlie 27 try to save the future universe from the menace of the Badoon. But what happens when the Guardians discover something behind the Badoon, something even worse than they could ever have imagined? The very future itself is in danger, and the only possibility of salvation relies on the shoulders of this ragtag, bombastic group of underdogs. Thrown together by fate and fighting against intolerable oppression, how can they even hope to survive the first issue? Next we have Legendary Star-Lord number 4, the battle to end all battles, Star-Lord vs. Thanos. As Peter Quill attempts to return to Earth, he encounters the all-powerful Titan responsible for so much mayhem in his life. How can Star-Lord possibly get out of this alive? Plus a guest appearance by Kitty Pryde. We've also got Men of Wrath by Jason Aaron number 1 of 5. Ever since great-grandfather Issam killed a man over some sheep, a black cloud has hung over the Wrath family. Now, over a century later, Ira Wrath, the coldest hitman ever to walk on Alabama soil, has taken a job that will decide the fate of his cursed family once and for all. Writer Jason Aaron of Southern Bastards and Scalped, and artist Ron Garney of Weapon X and Thor God of Thunder team up once again to bring you the story of a Southern family whose only heirloom is violence. Next, we've got Miracleman number 11. Book 3 of New York Times bestseller begins. From on high above London, Miracleman reveals the legends and tragedies that gave rise to Olympus. Gods and monsters walk the earth as the aliens whose technology gave birth to Miracleman seek to exterminate the survivors of Project Zarathustra, including material originally presented in Miracleman number 11 plus bonus content. We've also got Moon Knight number 8. It's a hostage situation on a high-rise and Moon Knight must come to the rescue. But in this cell phone camera society, he's doing it on the world stage. Next we have Silver Surfer number 6, Perfection. Everything up till this point was chance and fate, but now it's decided. Dawn's earned her spot on the board, and she and the Surfer are going to explore the universe together. And what better place to start than Planet Prime, the most perfect planet in the entire universe. Perfect food, perfect music, and, oh right, the perfect soldier, out to stop any possible alien threat that might set foot on his world. What chance does the Surfer have against Warrior 1, the deadliest combatant in all of creation? We've also got Spider-Man 2099 number 4, Scorpion vs. Spider-Man 2099 vs. Spider-Slayer, seasoned with a bit of social unrest. Miguel O'Hara continues the fight for his grandfather's soul in a literal war zone. Next we have Thor number 1, the great hammer Mjolnir lies on the moon, unable to be lifted by anyone in all of the heavens, even Thor. Something dark has befallen the god of thunder, leaving him weakened and for the first time in forever, unworthy. But when frost giants invade the earth, the hammer will be lifted and an all-new Thor will arise, a Thor unlike any we've seen before. Who is this new goddess of thunder? Not even Odin knows. Jason Aaron teams with hot up-and-comer artist Russell Dauterman to create a bold new chapter in the storied history of Thor. We've also got Uncanny Avengers number 25, Avengers and X-Men Axis tie-in. The dark path to Avengers and X-Men Axis starts here, an event 2 years in the making. The Red Skull and his S-Men have already begun the Great Vanishing. The Uncanny Avengers are too late. Havoc witnesses the Skull's greatest atrocity yet, Magneto vs. Red Skull blood match that will result in a terribly altered Marvel Universe. And we've got X-Men number 20. In the depths of space, the X-Men have encountered the threat terrorizing Sword, monstrosities called the Gene Spliced, creatures engineered from the fiercest alien races across the galaxy. But how can the X-Men hope to stop an alien horde? And does Sword's own leader, Abigail Brand, know more about the Gene Spliced than she's letting on? Out in trades, we've got all new Ghost Rider Volume 1 Engines of Vengeance trade paperback. With 4 on the floor, Marvel's newest Ghost Rider puts vengeance in overdrive. Amid an East Los Angeles neighborhood running wild with gang violence and drug trafficking, Robbie Reyes has been given an awesome new power. But can the teen handle it, or will it drive him to a path of destruction? As a war brews in the criminal underworld, the streets of East LA flare up with drug-fueled gang violence from Dr. Zabo's power-enhanced narcotics, and Mr. Hyde launches a diabolical plan to expand his underground empire. Robbie meets the mysterious entity behind his possession, but will he submit to the spirit inside him and go too far in protecting his neighborhood? The all-new Ghost Rider takes on Mr. Hyde with an all-out action and a twist that will hit you at 100 miles an hour. Collecting all-new Ghost Rider number 1 through 5. Next, we've got all-new X-Men Volume 1 hardcover. Professor X's original 5 students, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Angel, and Beast, are plucked from the past and brought to the present. But what they find, the state of their future selves and the state of Xavier's dream, is far from the future of which they dreamed. How will these young idealistic heroes react when faced with the crushing knowledge of what their future holds? And how will the embittered present-day X-Men deal with their past crashing forward? Plus, Mystique and Sabretooth target the young time travelers. How will the Uncanny Avengers, led by Cyclops' brother Havoc, react to the time-swept X-Men? And when the adult Cyclops and the outlaw Uncanny X-Men drop by the Jean Grey School for a recruiting session, which young X-Man will join the revolutionary crew? The answer will shock you. Collecting all new X-Men number 1 through 10. We've also got Deathlok the Demolisher, the complete collection trade paperback. Colonel Luther Manning has been locked in a state of living death. He's no longer a man, but a mockery of a man. He's become an amalgam of reanimated flesh and computer circuitry, stripped of his family, his humanity, but not his will. He's become Deathlok the Demolisher, a weapon of war programmed solely for destruction. A challenging blend of science fiction and psychological war journal, Deathlok set a pace for anti-heroes from the turbulent post-Watergate 70s. Illustrated by Rick Buckler and co-written by Doug Moench and Bill Mantlo, Deathlok pushed the moral relevance of Marvel Comics into a bold, often frightening new future. Collecting Astonishing Tales number 25 through 28 and 30 through 36, Marvel Team Up 46, Marvel Spotlight 33, Marvel 2-in-1 27 and 54, and Captain America 286 to 288. Next we have Iron Man Volume 5 Rings of the Mandarin hardcover premiere edition. An all-new epic begins. Malekith the Accursed, Lord of the Dark Elves, has a problem with Iron Man. Then again, Malekith the Accursed has a problem with pretty much everyone on Earth. And while Malekith the Accursed strikes, blood will flow and darkness will fall, unless Iron Man can gain the upper hand. It's cutting-edge mortal science versus the most arcane Asgardian science imaginable, all in a bath of blood. Plus, which classic Marvel UK character returns in a reinvented form after the events of Revolutionary War? And how do the Mandarin's rings factor into this crisis? Iron Man vows to get to the bottom of things, assuming he lives. Collecting Iron Man number 23 through 28. We've also got Magneto Volume 1 Infamous trade paperback. Once the deadliest, most feared mutant mastermind on the planet, Magneto is no longer the man he was. After allying with Cyclops and the X-Men, he became a pawn in another man's war. But now determined to fight for mutant-kind survival on his own terms, Magneto sets out to regain what he's lost and remind the world why it should tremble at the sound of his name. Magneto will safeguard the future of the mutant race by hunting down each and every threat that would see his kind extinguished and bloody his hands that they may never be a threat again. But as horrors from his past loom large and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents pursue him, will Magneto soon become a villain he once was? And how will a mysterious woman from his past affect his mission? Collecting Magneto number 1 through 6. Next we have Moon Knight Epic Collection Volume 1 Bad Moon Rising trade paperback. Discover the many faces of the Moon Knight: mercenary, werewolf hunter, superhero, millionaire playboy, cab driver, ghost. Moon Knight is many things to many people, with the multiple personalities to match. Follow the Fist of Khonshu as he battles to find his place in the Marvel Universe in this collection of his earliest appearances. From his startling debut as a nemesis of Werewolf by Night to an unlikely stint with the Defenders, from encounters with Spider-Man and the Thing to the solo adventures that shaped a legend, relive the rise of Moon Knight's Spectre of Vengeance. Collecting Werewolf by Night 32 and 33, Marvel Spotlight 28 and 29, Defenders 47 to 50, Peter Parker the Spectacular Spider-Man 22 and 23, Marvel 2 and 1 52, Moon Knight 1 through 4, plus material from Hulk Magazine 11 through 15, 17, 18 and 20, and Marvel Preview number 21. We've also got Moon Knight Volume 1 From the Dead trade paperback. Mark Spector is Moon Knight, or is he? It's hard to tell these days, especially when New York's wildest vigilante protects the streets with two-fisted justice and that's right, count 'em, 3 different personalities. But even with the mystical force of Egyptian moon god Khonshu fueling his crusade, how does the Knight's greatest detective save a city that's twisted as he is? The road to victory is going to hurt a lot. Be there as Moon Knight punches ghosts, investigates a sleepy experiment that's driving its patients insane, travels to the Mushroom Graveyard planet, faces the Black Spectre, and takes on 20 mob enforcers to save an abductee alone. Marvel's most mind-bending adventure begins as Moon Knight sleuths his way to the rotten core of New York's most bizarre mysteries. Collecting Moon Knight number 1 through 6. Next, we have New Mutants X-Force Demon Bear trade paperback. The visionary talents of legendary illustrator Bill Sienkiewicz bring the demon bear that has haunted Danielle Moonstar's dreams to horrifying life. It took her parents, and now it has returned for Danny, and only the combined efforts of her fellow New Mutants can stop it from finishing the job. Sink your teeth into a true classic. Then Danny's nightmare returns years later as San Francisco and her new team X-Force come under attack of a similarly unholy Ursine. And when the Apache mutant Warpath faces his own demon bear, he must forge an unlikely alliance with Ghost Rider and embrace his birthright to discover the truth. It's a trilogy of terror featuring a threat far scarier than the average bear. Collecting New Mutants 18 through 20, X-Force 99, and material from X-Force number 7 through 10. And we've got Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt prose novel hardcover. Born to a rarefied breed of Russian aristocracy, Kraven the Hunter has stalked and killed every animal known to man and considered himself the world's best big game hunter. It was this confidence that brought him to New York years ago in an obsessive quest to hunt what he considered the city's greatest prey, Spider-Man. But his target eluded him time and again, mocking him at every turn. Now, after years of crushing defeats against the web-slinger, Kraven has hatched one last plan to best Spider-Man. In a stunning instant of shocking violence, Kraven stands finally triumphant over Peter Parker's seemingly dead body. And to prove that he is the hero's master, Kraven will don Spider-Man's costume and become him. Experience the classic genre-defining Spider-Man shocker like never before in this new adaptation. Alright, so that's it for Marvel this week, but there's still plenty of other books out as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com to see both the DC and Indies videos for this week, as well as my featured video with the usual roundup of all my favorites for the week, with a little more depth and insight than you get here. And if you like these videos, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment and subscribing. You can also follow He's Got Issues on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr to see everything I'm reading as I read it. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.